What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Johnny. Back in here, one more reaction video, ladies and gentlemen. And today we got Napoleon Hill coming to the channel with his fantastic book, Outwitting the Devil. Hey, this is the book that made me fall in love with reading. It raised my consciousness in ways I did not know was possible. And I just want to bring a little bit of it to the channel. I think I've done a video on it before. But if you've ever read As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, it said if you would guard your body, guard your mind. And in this clip right here, we're going to talk about why guarding your thoughts is so important. If this is your first time to the channel, get on in here and park that whip, baby. As I love to say, we are simply spirits encased in human flesh. That's all I promise. Just trying to figure out this thing called life, not nearly as divided or as demonic as the mainstream media tries to make it seem every single day. And I think everybody and their mama is trying to grow and evolve in this thing called life. So if you dig what you hear in this video, share a forum, gang.
Which is more important, one's thoughts or one's deeds?
All deeds follow thoughts. There can be no deeds without their having first been patterned in thought. Moreover, all thoughts have a tendency to clothe themselves in their physical counterpart. One's dominating thoughts, that is, the thoughts one mixes with the emotions, desire, hope, faith, fear, hate, greed, enthusiasm, not only have a tendency to clothe themselves in their physical equivalent, but they are bound to do so.
That reminds me to ask you to tell me more about yourself. Where, in addition to the minds of people, do you dwell and operate?
I operate wherever there is something I can control and appropriate. I have already told you I am the negative portion of the electron of matter. I am the explosion in lightning. I am the pain in disease and physical suffering. I am the unseen general in warfare. I am the unknown commissioner of poverty and famine. I am the executioner extraordinary at death. I am the inspirer of lust after the flesh. I am the creator of jealousy and envy and greed. I am the instigator of fear. I am the genius who converts the achievements of men of science into instruments of death. I am the destroyer of harmony in all manner of human relationships. I am the antithesis of justice. I am the driving force in all immorality. I am the stalemate of all good. I am anxiety, suspense, superstition, and insanity. I am the destroyer of hope and faith. I am the inspirer of destructive gossip and scandal. I am the discourager of free and independent thought. In brief, I am the creator of all forms of human misery, the instigator of discouragement and disappointment.
And you do not call that cold and cruel?
I call that definite and dependable.
Now, if the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. And we just heard the devil, quote unquote, from this book that was published in, I want to say 1928, say that he was the negative side of the energy. There's a book by Neville Goddard called Feeling is a Secret that was released in 1944. So it seems that everything is connected, and that's why our media is throwing so much fear and negativity that's 24/7, 365, because it wants you to lose your hope and your faith. And you can't walk in faith and fear at the same time. So if you're overwhelmed with fear 24/7, 365, and you get emotionally involved in it, then what are you going to bring into your life? Because thoughts are things. Prentice Mulford has a book talking about that in like 1908. It makes sense why the rap music is so repetitive and so negative. And they play it at such a loud frequency. And then you mix that with alcohol, and then you put this toxic processed food inside your body. That's why I believe in the power of fasting. That's why I believe in the power of praying. I think fasting and praying is like eating peanut butter and jelly. You know, they just go with each other. And you got to be able to step back and be in the world, but not consuming the things of the world.
The world depression broke up the habits of men everywhere and redistributed the sources of opportunity in all walks of life on an unprecedented scale. The drifter's pet alibi, with which he tries to explain away his undesirable position, is his cry that the world has run dry of opportunities. Non-drifters do not wait for opportunity to be placed in their way. They create opportunity to fit their desires and demands of life.
Are non-drifters smart enough to avoid the influence of hypnotic rhythm?
No one is smart enough to dodge the influence of hypnotic rhythm. One could just as easily avoid the influence of the law of gravity. The law of hypnotic rhythm fixes permanently the dominating thoughts of men, whether they be drifters or non-drifters. There is no reason why a non-drifter would want to avoid the influence of hypnotic rhythm, because that law is favorable to him. It helps him convert his dominating aims, plans, and purposes into their physical replicas. It fixes his habits of thought and makes them permanent. Only the drifter would wish to dodge the influence of hypnotic rhythm.
For the better portion of my adult life, I have been a drifter.
Me too.
How did I manage to escape being swept into the whirlpool of hypnotic rhythm?
Hey, check this out. This is about to blow your mind.
Haven't escaped. The major portion of your dominating thoughts and desires since you reached adulthood has been a well-defined, definite desire to understand all the potentialities of the mind. You may have drifted on thoughts of lesser importance, but you did not drift in connection with this desire. Because you did not drift, you are now recording a document which gives you exactly what your dominating thoughts demanded of life.
Why doesn't your opposition use hypnotic rhythm to make permanent one's higher thoughts and nobler deeds? Why does your opposition permit you to use this stupendous force as a means of entangling people in a web of evil, spun by their own thoughts and deeds? Why does your opposition not outwit you by binding people with thoughts which build and lift them above your influence?
The law of hypnotic rhythm is available to all who will use it. I make use of it more effectively than does my opposition, because I offer people more attractive bribes to think my sort of thoughts and indulge in my sort of deeds.
In other words, you control people by making negative thinking and destructive deeds pleasing to them. Is that correct?
That is the idea exactly.
That explains Hollywood 100%. You know the content that you're putting out is low vibrational and extremely destructive to the masses, but you getting your check. They always say what sweeten the mouth turns sour in the belly. So it's easy to run around and have all these negative actions without thinking about the consequences of them. Because you're just drifting through life. You ain't paying attention to what's going to happen 3, 5, 10 years now. But if you're somebody who focus, you know every action has a reaction. So you have to move intentional and with purpose. And if you watching this video and you not moving with purpose, the time is now. Get you a notebook, get you a pen, and start writing down what you want to do, what you want to become. Your current situation isn't your final destination. But there was a period through life when I was just drifting, sleeping with girl to girl and not paying attention to myself and not eating healthy. And now I'm building for my future, and I encourage you to do the same.
I've often wondered why your opposition, what we earthbound call God, does not annihilate you. Can you tell me why?
Because the power is as much mine as his. It is as available to me as to him. That is what I have been trying to get over to you. The highest power in the universe can be used for constructive purposes, through what you call God. Or it can be used for negative purposes, through what you call the devil.
The yin and yang.
And something more important still, it can be used by any human being just as effectively as by God or the devil.
You make a far-reaching claim. Can you prove your claim?
Yes, but it would be better if you proved it for yourself. The devil's word is not worth much among your earthbound sinners. Neither is God's word. You fear the devil and refuse to trust your God. Therefore, you have but one source available through which you may appropriate the benefits of universal power. And that...
Ain't that crazy to hear? You fear the devil and you refuse to trust God. And that's true, because look, every time a news story pop up, breaking news, a new war, a new police, whatever it is, so many people that claim that they believe in God emotionally get involved in that story. And they say there's no hope for the future, and they be all angry and taking that out on the people around them. And as far as I was concerned, Jesus said, focus on me, not the storm. So it could be raining and snowing and tornadoes and tsunamis and earthquakes. And I'm Gucci because I know who's in control. But if I really don't believe in him, then I'm scared a little bit. I'm nervous. I'm worried about what's going on. And I keep saying you can't walk in faith and fear. And as Wayne said, look me in my face. I ain't got no worries. I ain't got no worries.
That is by trusting and using your own power of thought. This is the direct road to the universal storehouse of infinite intelligence. There is no other road available to any human being.
Why have we earthbound not found the road to infinite intelligence sooner?
Because I have intercepted you and led you off the path by planting in your minds thoughts which destroy your power to use your minds constructively.
Man, look.
I have made it attractive to you to use the power of infinite intelligence to attain negative ends through greed, avarice, lust, envy, and hatred. Remember, your mind attracts that which your mind dwells upon. To divert you away from my opposition, I had only to feed you on thoughts helpful to my cause.
We're going to leave it right there, but think about the concept of fight or flight, right? I know a bunch of guys that weren't gangster, but all they listened to was murder music 24/7. And when they got in a frightful situation, when fight or flight took over, they pull out the trigger. Wake up in jail crying. Because as T. Grizzly say, you ain't a shooter, you can't do it without a molly, but most of them own molly or some type of pill. They ain't sober when they in these situations. And so when you start to understand the girls just laying in their room listening to Quiet Storm over and over and over, they're gonna end up sleeping with somebody they ain't supposed to. It's to say what we consume doesn't have an effect on us. I think we are way past our reality, and we got to start paying attention to the content that we are consuming and the content that we're allowing our children to consume. I can remember waking up watching the Nelly Tip Drill video type stuff, and now the content that's in the world is 100 times more explicit than that. There isn't teenage content anymore. You go from being a little kid to now you just exposed to sex and drugs and money and murder and all that. And as James Allen said, if you would guard your body, guard your mind. Because the devil is preying on individuals. And the thing that gets overlooked the most about all us humans is we all fall to sin. We all want to feel good. And most sin feels good in the short term, but in the long terms, it causes a lot of heartache, a lot of pain, a lot of discomfort. So you got to be able to learn to discard instant gratification and work on delayed gratification. You know, set 3-year goals, 5-year goals, 10-year goals, because we live in a microwave society. Put it in, push 30 seconds, and it's done. Oh, you didn't text me back? Swipe, I got somebody else. Oh, you ain't treat me right? Swipe, I'm going to end this marriage, and I'm going to go get somebody else. And we got to start valuing people, because that's all we have in life is people. But the devil makes it enticing to treat people as they're discardable. And that's not reality. I think we all truthfully know that. So let's individually do our part to raise human conscience. You know, they say if everybody was to sweep under their own feet, the world is clean overnight. So I'm just doing my part, sweeping under my feet and sharing, you know, messages like this in the world that anything the mind can't conceive and believe it can achieve. But it's up to you to pay attention to what you're allowing into your mind. Because when I was allowing content that was about sex 24/7 in my mind, that's how I view women. But now that I read books and I'm enlightened, I want to learn about people. No man is your friend, no man is your enemy, but everyone can be your teacher if you allow them to be. And we all have a unique perspective in this world. It's not black and white as the media tries to make it. They want us sad, angry, with anxiety, depression, arguing about every single ism that they can create and put on TV or put on social media. And I'm saying let's step back from that paradigm. We all spirits inside these bodies. We popped out of mama. We cried. People was excited when we learned to roll over. They was excited when we learned to crawl, excited when we learned to stand up. You know, we go to elementary, middle school, high school, and then at some point in life, we start hating other humans. It's the craziest concept in the world when you stop and think about it. Like, you probably hate somebody right now that you was running around with at preschool playing Duck, Duck, Goose or freeze tag or something. Step away from that negativity that's given to you and get back to your natural, true self. Spirit is perfect, therefore you are perfect. Never be too proud to pray. Have a super mega awesome day. Smile, be happy, be happy, be happy, because blessings are always on the way. Read these books, people. I love you all. We out. Peace.